This episode of the podcast is brought to you by Still Austin Straight Bourbon Whiskey. This is a new rye blend called The Musician, first in a series because music has the ability to bring us all closer together, to make us feel more free and alive, just like great whiskey. Still Austin, owned locally, distilled in Austin, 100% Texas. Amarillo Rocks. This week we've got the venerable, the amazing, the magical, the beautiful Adrian Amiro back 3 days later after massive technical problems. There's going to be an audio show. Accompanying this show, I didn't have it in my good conscience to just put out an audio-only podcast with a visual artist. So, hey man, I'm doing this on a shoestring budget. Anyway, dear, Good to see you again.
Fancy meeting you here.
Yeah, let's get that on there. There. Okay, there we go on you. So, that's me, that's you, that's me, that's you. Okay, sorry.
Wayne's
we'll trim all that out past. All right. So, some of the stuff that we were wanting to talk about is you've got some shows coming up.
I do.
This Thursday, I think, at High Fidelity.
Yes.
High Fidelity. Shout out Ray.
Because he's awesome.
Ray is awesome.
He really is cool.
I don't even know where to begin.
It's one of those days, dude. You're totally fine.
So like you've had a bit of a train wreck of a morning. I've had kind of a train wreck of a morning. And when two train wrecks get together, I don't know.
Maybe like one train can pull the other train, and then the trains both still get where they're going. Yeah. I think that's going to be like the point. That's what I'm hoping for.
That's what I'm hoping for.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, so you and I have known each other for about a year and a half, I guess.
Yeah.
We met at you and your sister Kay. Shout out Kay. At Lit Arcade Bar.
Yes.
Y'all were my guests one evening, and found out that you did the arts.
Thanks to my sister, because I wasn't going to say anything.
Yeah. And you had a show that summer that we went to, and Kat and my buddy Jared went, and
at the Greyhound.
Yes, at the Greyhound.
Yeah.
And just like everything you did there just blew our freaking minds. I've got so many friends. Yeah. Oh man, this sounds terrible. I've got friends that call themselves artists, and macaroni necklaces. I don't know. Never mind. I shouldn't say that. But the point is that the caliber of artwork that you create was way above what any of us thought was going to be, and so it was really awesome to catch it. It was really awesome to catch it.
I appreciate that.
Yeah. You've done a bunch of shows at the Greyhound.
I have.
You've done shows all over the country. You've been to L.A.?
I have. Yes. Actually, I have done art shows out there. Yes. Yeah. And New York as well.
And New York as well.
Mm-hmm.
What was that show in New York that you did? We talked about this the other day.
The New York Fashion Week one?
Yeah, New York Fashion Week.
That was for jewelry, though, not for painting.
Mm-hmm. Well, but that's still, you're in New York City for Fashion Week for something you do.
Yes.
That is big balls in Cowtown, sister.
It was kind of cool.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. Yeah. How long were you up there?
I was just up there for about 4 days.
Oh, I see.
I usually stay with my friend Tegan from high school.
Yeah.
And brought giant suitcases full of jewelry, that's how I got off the plane.
So what kind of jewelry do you do?
I used to. I guess I do again. I used to make jewelry for films and for fashion editorials and stuff like that. And I guess I've just started getting back into that after not having done that for a hot minute. So
kind of like fantasy jewelry, would you say?
Yes, very theatrical.
Very theatrical.
Yes, but I'm theater weird, so I guess it
were you a theater kid?
I was a theater kid.
That makes a lot of sense.
It makes all the sense, doesn't it? Yeah.
I was a theater kid too.
Yeah, that makes sense too.
Most of us around in this community have been or were. So yeah, that is very cool. You did a piece for my fiance Kat last Christmas, and I guess you're gonna be doing one
for your
for
wedding. Yes.
Yeah. That's coming up in a couple months. So
I'm honestly super honored that she asked me to do that because she is one of the coolest humans I've ever met.
She's pretty rad.
Yeah.
Yeah. Lock that one down.
Go you. That's what you call winning. Like Charlie Sheen winning right there.
Word. But we're gonna put some images up on the screen of some of these crown pieces. Some of these crowns are amazing. It's so like what inspires you to? I mean, where did this come from? You know.
My brain works really weirdly. It's a combination of a couple things. I mean, I probably watched Labyrinth over 1 million times growing up, and that masquerade ball scene.
Yeah.
Like, I think that's probably partially responsible for how I turned out. But my friend Dottie one summer decided that she was going to teach herself to sew, and she was going to sew jewelry, and then she just looked at me, she's like, you're going to make, she sewed clothing, not jewelry. And then she looked at me and told me I was going to make jewelry, and that was going to be just what we were going to do with our summer. And we did. She started her Sumomosuki line, and I started Shallot Lily, which is from the Lady of Shalott.
Yeah.
Yeah. Most people think I'm the onion lily, though.
The onion. What is an onion lily?
Well, I don't know, but shallot or shallot, they're spelled the same. So,
okay.
Yeah.
Well, I thought,
funny.
I always read it as Shallot Lily. It always made sense to me.
Thank you.
The Lady of Shalott. I mean, that's famous.
You're a rare breed.
No, it's
No, we're old.
Well,
and it's already old on top of that.
That would make me hundreds of years old. I'm not that old. I mean, that's Renaissance era. You know. I mean,
Victorian, actually.
Was it Victorian?
It's Victorian.
Oh, okay. My bad. How long have you had that brand?
Probably close to about 20 years now.
Wow.
I know.
So this is 2000, okay. Mm-hmm. We talked about some of this. You were kind of a child of the 80s and the 90s.
Yep.
And so, guys, we talked about this the other day, but for those of you that don't see the audio show, there's no internet in her damn house.
I do not have internet in my house. No, I do not.
And it's cool, unusual. But 20 years ago it was unusual, and it's just
It's fine. I'm an alien. It's all right.
Some might call that Arrested Development. I don't know.
That could be a thing.
No, that's not a thing. I think it's great. You've got DVDs, CDs. Everything,
Yeah, my friend Aaron actually coined a phrase, like anytime he'll mention a movie or anything, he'll be like, I bet she's got it on DVD.
Yeah.
It's a joke, yeah, because I do have a ridiculous DVD collection.
So for like modern movies and things like that?
Yeah, even still.
They still sell those?
They do. It's magic.
Okay.
There's more weirdos out there than just me. They're just maybe like undercover, and most people don't know they have a DVD library. I don't know, but yes, they do still sell them.
We've got a pretty replete DVD library. So this entertainment center I'm building in the back, it has a DVD player, a Blu-ray player, a VCR, and a Betamax.
Oh, see, Betamax is before my time. I'm not that old.
I have a working Betamax.
That's impressive.
Yeah, and it weighs about 500 pounds. It's ridiculous.
Do you remember whenever a VCR would like eat a tape and you'd have to like pull it apart?
Yeah.
Dude, I used to be a wizard at that. My mom would I remember we were in what was it? The Disney's Robin Hood, the cartoon, which is like the best Robin Hood.
Oh yeah,
if you
absolutely.
ask me. And she got her little screwdriver, flipped the top, like took it apart, and totally fixed the film and everything. It was magic.
We used to use put the frames together with packing tape. So there'd be like a little, and then it would just pass right over it.
That's amazing.
Yeah. Little known fact, did you know, so you remember the song Not in Nottingham?
Yes.
So all the music from Disney's Robin Hood was written by a guy named Roger Miller, who's from Amarillo, Texas.
Oh my God, you just blew my mind. That is the cool. Of course he's from Amarillo. This
that,
place is like kind of magic.
Yeah, it's a trip. So just a little nugget there. And a couple of us even play some of his music around town.
Do you really?
I play Not in Nottingham in my set, yeah.
Well, it's classic.
It's classic.
Yeah.
You have to use a resonator for it. Anyway, sidebar there. So this the show Thursday.
Yes.
Is at High Fidelity. High Fidelity is at it's like 6th and it's like Kentucky. It's right by Braceros and 806 and all that.
Yeah, it's kind of in between Aunt Eeks and 806. It's like 806. On the strip.
Shout out to Aunt Eeks.
Angela's the most magical human being on the planet.
Angela is 4 3/4 out of 5 stars.
I would give her like 10 stars out of 5 if you were asking me, but you didn't. So.
She's gonna watch this, and so I'm messing with her. Yeah, absolutely. She is worth more stars than I can give her.
Yeah.
Yeah, she is amazing. And Ray, absolutely.
He's the
indomitable
coolest
human being.
He is the coolest, and this is probably one of the most special projects I've ever gotten to work on, and it's just kind of magic.
So this whole thing that you're doing, you're painting a whole bunch of local artists, like
local musicians. Yes, yeah. I am. We're gonna have a local musician show. I've been lucky enough to make some really fantastic, talented, crazy, awesome friends since I've moved here, which has only been a little over 2 years now.
Wow.
And I thought that would probably be, because Ray's giving me like a whole wall in there, and he said I could do whatever I wanted with it, and I got up the next morning and was like, what if I painted like local musicians, because that would be like super cool. And I talked to Ray about it, and he's like, oh my God, that's the best idea.
That is the best idea. That is phenomenal. And so
what you guys do is massive. Like, all of you guys are just incredible.
Well, the artistic types, and what do we call this? The right brainers? Like, is it the left brainers? I can't remember.
I don't know my right from my left half the time, so I'm not the person to ask.
It's art is the expression of the soul. I mean, not to be cliche here, but I mean, it's like trying to make things that you feel tangible.
Yes, that is 100% what it is.
And so, if you do that viscerally through music, imagery, some people are, chefs. They're arts with food, which we're going to get into later on. And I don't know, it just seems. And guys, that's why we're going to this platform. So we're going to be doing a lot of visual artists on the show moving forward. I'm going to do art of different kind. We'll probably have a few cooks on. I know I'm going to have my girl Ruthie on at some point, and we're just going to keep going with all you guys that create. Sorry for the digression there.
No, that's actually a really incredible thing to do, and I think Amarillo is in a really good place for that right now.
It is. We talked a little bit about the scene and how awesome the scene is. I mean, like, we were saying the other day that it can seem, on the surface like a kind of a podunk town.
Well, I was afraid when I moved here because I had no idea where I was moving. I just moved here because my sister lives here. That was literally how I ended up here.
Yeah.
But I didn't expect there to be art and good art and music and good music that comes out of this place, but there is an abundance of it, and it's really exciting.
That is exciting.
Yeah.
Man, where are you from?
That's a really good question.
Where were you born?
Newport, Rhode Island.
Did not see that one coming.
Uh-huh.
Okay, we didn't talk about that the other day. Wow. How long did you live there?
Well, I lived in Rhode Island for 2 or 3 years, I think. And we moved around a lot.
Yeah.
So I've lived in Texas. I lived in New Mexico. I lived in Massachusetts for a long time. And when I was in high school, my sophomore year, we moved from Massachusetts to Midland,
Okay.
Texas. Talk about culture shock. That's that.
Massachusetts to Midland.
Yep, that was a thing.
That sounds like it could be a memoir. Right there. Massachusetts to Midland.
Pretty sure Midland's where dreams go to die. Uh-huh. That.
Yeah, if you have allergies, that's also a good place to go die too.
There's a lot of reasons that I'm not going to go there, actually. No. Not my favorite place. I have feelings about that, obviously.
Obviously. Yeah. You got a couple kids. What, 3 kids?
I've got 2.
2 kids. And are they artsy as well?
My daughter is very artistic, and she has the most overactive imagination.
Wait, I've met your daughter.
Yes.
She was the she was the xenomorph.
She is the xenomorph.
Running around
I know,
Antiques.
chasing you around at Antiques. That's Morgan. She is a character and a half, man.
That kid was a hoot. That was awesome.
I'm gonna tell you, she's either gonna be a criminal mastermind or she's gonna rule the world. Probably both.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
Hopefully not turning into a xenomorph.
I mean, if she got her wish, she would.
Yeah, she's super into it.
Yeah, she's still into it.
She engages with strangers well, so, you know.
She is very personable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, she gets that from you, I bet.
She gets a couple things from me.
You're pretty
Yeah.
personable. Yeah.
I have moments.
And your son is Jack.
Yes.
He's 5? 6?
7.
7.
He's 7.
Yeah. We've got some of Jack's artwork over there on the piano next to yours, as a matter of fact. Wow.
That was such an amazing thing because he's usually pretty shy. But he
That
decided...
kid was hustling, man.
I know!
Yeah, what'd you say, made like $40 a day or something like that?
38, and I've never seen him do that before, but he was sitting there and, like, he put the work in, too. Like, he'd sit there and, like, draw out these drawings, and then he would go talk to people and see if anyone wanted to buy his stuff, so that he could, like, buy video games on my phone. He had ulterior motives.
Yeah.
But you know what? He got it, and Pokemon cards. That was the other thing.
Well, one does what one can with one's priorities.
I mean, Pokemon cards are pretty cool. You gotta admit, it's a big deal.
It's a seller's market right now. So that show is Thursday. I know we keep bouncing away from going back to it.
Fine.
You're getting you had 7 done the other day.
Don't ask.
Just
Don't ask me right now.
I'm not
just don't ask me right now.
But
I am in hustle mode.
There's
at the
going
moment.
to be about 14 paintings for this thing, and there's going to be. Can you say who?
I did Elton. I'm doing you. I did my friend Austin. I did.
A couple of Callie,
Jimmy.
Right? No, Jimmy. Yeah.
Yes, and Hillary Marie and one of Ray.
One of Ray?
Yeah.
Awesome.
He looks like a wizard in it too. It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Like he's like a music wizard. Because I guess that's him. Yeah.
Is Hillary the only female one you do?
No, I'm doing Amy Hart.
Oh, awesome! Yeah.
Yeah. Oh my God, she is so cool, and she actually gave me a little bit of direction on hers, which I'm not even gonna lie, like I appreciate that so much.
Really?
She kind of let me know some of the things that she likes and stuff like that. And
okay.
she's magical. So yeah, so I've got several.
Amy's another one that has done a whole lot for the art community around here, like music community, with FM90, with she'll put bands on they've got a podcast at the station. And like she had my band on. She had some of the metal bands on. They stick them on Dead End Street. Some of the local. I can't remember if she's had native crowds or not. I don't know. She's done a bunch. She's a performer as well.
I've seen her perform before. Yeah. I think she's just magic.
She is magic. She's awesome.
Yeah.
She oh gosh, 5, 6, 7 years ago, she and I and Ruthie and Brandon Parlow, my drummer, threw together a band, did one song. We covered a Loretta Lynn song and it was like a punk rock Loretta Lynn cover.
Oh my God.
They made a video for it, and she entered it in the Third Man Record Contest. And it was, we didn't win, but we got an honorable mention or something like that. And it was really cool. I'll show you the video. we tossed together a real quick band name called the Bleeding Hearts because her last name's Hart.
Yeah.
And then Presley, her old man, her husband. Sorry, Presley. Sorry, Presley, dude. Anyway, you're her old man. Come on. Anyway, he got a vinyl pressed of it. That's not, have yet to see it. It was freaking cool. I'll show you the video here in a little bit. It was cool. I'll put a link to it on the thing because I'm going to get that up on the
That sounds incredible and totally hardcore and awesome.
It was really cool, man. We used to have the studio over on 45th and Georgia years ago when I was in this band called Chooch and Loudmouth, and then Jocelyn Plums had a spot up there up front because she does like sideshow and freak show stuff and things like that, and then we did the Bleeding Hearts back there. Anyway, weird direction, but so Amy, I'm excited that you know one of Amy.
Yeah, I like her immensely. She sent me photos and we talked, and she's just awesome. Like, she's just cool. The people here are flipping cool. Like, I got this idea and I just made like a little Facebook post about it, and like I literally had like 14 different people message me and send me photos. I was kind of nervous about it because like it could be weird. Like, hey, can I paint you? Like, that's kind of weird, man. It's a little weird.
Well, but you go to that. Are you the subject in that drawing school over here, or go to Sunset Center?
Okay, so the Amarillo Art Institute.
Amarillo Institute,
yeah. They have figure drawing classes on Monday night. That's where I was last night. And sometimes I go up there and I draw with the other artists, and sometimes I model, which is what I was doing last night. And they let me wear my crazy jewelry stuff up there, and like, so they get to draw like, crazy headpieces that I made. It's honestly really fun.
So let's talking about some of this jewelry now. Since we're back on the subject of headpieces, you have done things for the TV shows.
American Horror Story. Yeah.
Twin Peaks, or the people from Twin Peaks.
Yes. I did editorials with Christabel, and I made a piece for Trent Reznor's wife, Mary Queen Rezner. So something that I made exists in Trent Reznor's house. With If You Know Me, it's kind of a big deal.
Yeah, that's.
But they were in Twin Peaks.
Yeah.
So
And then, what's the other show? There's
a Disney show, the Disney's Austin and Ally.
I could never remember
I
the name
got
of
to
that.
do jewelry for an entire character on that show because my friend Hannah Cat Jones is the coolest. Like, she's just one of the sweetest, most amazing human beings, like, ever. Just ever. Yeah.
Hannah Cat Jones?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I don't know how I got so lucky to know the people that I do, because I know some, like, insane people and some really talented people, and most of them are, like, kind, and kindness is a thing.
Is that your friend in L.A.?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, yeah. You go and, like, hang out and run around and take pictures?
We run around and do, like, random photo shoots all over Beverly Hills, or we eat sushi, and then we run around trying to find Gary Oldman's star. He doesn't have a star anymore. It's not there.
How does Gary Oldman not have a star?
I don't know. I guess they have to pay for the star, and he just decided that he didn't want to pay for it. Yeah. Like, if you have a star, you have to, like, there's, like, maintenance fees and stuff like that. It's crazy,
What if you're dead?
Then your estate does.
Yeah, the foundation does.
Yes.
Wow, I didn't know there was a hustle on that.
Life is weird, man.
Yeah.
I did get to see David Bowie's star, though.
Wow, Labyrinth,
No, David Bowie is responsible for making every bad moment of my life infinitely better.
Yeah.
He's my favorite.
Did you see that video that he and Reznor did together?
Which one? I'm Afraid of Americans?
Yes. Yeah.
Of course I know.
Yeah,
of course I did. Like, what?
Yeah, that's...
I mean, it's like David Bowie and Trent Reznor.
I recently discovered this.
Seriously?
I heard the song and never saw the video. So, yeah.
The imagery in that is, like, super cool.
Yeah.
I kind of love it. So, yeah.
Well, I might have to pitch that one as a band, as a cover. We do this, this tribute show every year.
You cover that one. I'm going to have to see it, because it's a David Bowie song anyway, so how I feel about that.
Your hero, probably one of your heroes, Lemmy was one of my heroes, obviously, and they died about 2 weeks apart from each other.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. So like Lemmy was December 28th, 2015, and Bowie was January 11th, 2016.
Which is my birthday.
What is your... Oh, what is... that 4-star sucks.
It was one of the worst birthdays I have ever had. But you know what? It's kind of good now because, like, his death and my birthday, like, it's always, like, I can go anywhere on my birthday and there's, like, David Bowie everywhere. So it's like he's kind of magically... forever, like, we're intertwined. Like,
still though, man, that one had
no, it was awful. I woke up in the morning. My friend Dottie, she lives in Korea. She's the one that got me started making jewelry. And I had like 10 messages from her on Facebook, and before I even opened them, I just knew. And she's like, look, I know it's your birthday. I'm so sorry. She's like, it can still be, it was not a good day. But what was cool was every place that we went into was playing David Bowie music. Oh. Like, everyone felt it. Like, it was kind of beautiful. Like, it was kind of beautiful. But I cried for, like, 3 days straight, and nothing was ever the same.
Oh. Wow.
The tribute things that they do every year are pretty impressive. The first one, Gary Oldman sang, and Trent Reznor sang, and... it came out on my birthday. Oh. And so I got to watch that on my birthday, like, and it was all like David Bowie songs. So see, it's
serendipity, bittersweet. I don't know what you want to call it. Silver linings.
Silver lining for sure.
Yeah.
I'm like that though.
What was I going to say? This is not a scripted show. There's lots of ums and uhs in it.
I'm surprised I'm not saying like every 2 seconds.
Like.
Like, oh my god, like, really? For sure.
From the valley.
Gag me with a spoon.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Yeah, the younger guys that are watching this.
Sorry, guys.
What the fuck are y'all talking about? Gag me with a spoon? You know?
Oh, God. Yeah, I did that.
Gag me with an ICB. And we used to say some weird stuff like that, you know?
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely theater weird.
So you got a show coming up this Thursday.
I do, at High Fidelity Vinyl.
High Fidelity Vinyl. It's Ray Wilson's place. It's over there on 6th Street, kind of by Braceros and Eeks.
Yeah, it's in the same strip. It's like in between 806 and Ann Eeks.
Yeah. Ray, you guys have seen on a previous episode, he's got a badass little record store.
He's a rock star. He's 100%. Rock star.
He's a phenomenal musician, good dude. He gives awesome hugs.
He's the best.
Yeah, Ray is the best. And so Ray is giving Adrian an entire frickin' wall with which she is painting a bunch of local artists.
Local musicians.
Local musicians.
Yeah, because you guys are magic.
On Amarillo Rocks, our first visual artists. We got the magical, amazing, super patient, beautiful, and fun Adrian Amiro. She has a show coming up on this Thursday at the High Fidelity Vinyl Store, which is Ray Wilson's place.
Yes. Who's a complete rock star. Flipping, just phenomenal human.
Absolute cuddle bear. He's a good dude and good musician. And Ray's doing something super special. All those guys are. You know, think about the 806, High Fidelity, and Eeks. All of those. It's just this quaint little corner of town where you get to see stuff that you just don't get to do and see anywhere else in town.
So much magical art and music and poetry and just like creativity in general happens in those places. It just blows my mind.
Yeah, man, and there's a lot of good stuff. So you've got quite the history of being an art. You've done this about 20 years.
Well, I've made jewelry for about 20 years. I've only been painting again for about 2 since I moved here.
Tell us about your what you do.
Which part? I used to make jewelry. Mm-hmm. I have a line called Shalott Lily, after the Lady of Shalott.
But that's not Onion Lily.
It is not the Onion Lily, although honestly I don't mind being called the Onion Lily. I even bought an earring that has a little shallot on it because I thought it was funny.
What is a shallot?
It's kind of like an onion.
Is that one of those little thin things?
Yeah.
You know, that field behind my house, there's a whole bunch of those that grow out there wildly.
That's magic.
Can you eat those?
I would have to see them, but probably. I mean, don't take my word for it. I don't want you to die.
Well, for the previous conversation, I mean, we've talked about this 3 times now, but the Lady of Shalott was not a Renaissance painting; it was a Victorian.
Yes.
Yeah. The more we do this, the more I sound like an expert.
I mean, it was based on like Camelot and stuff like that, like King Arthur and his court. But Alfred Lord Tennyson wrote it in the 1800s, and then let's see, Rossetti did a version of her. Elizabeth Siddell did a version of her, and she was the model for Malays Ophelia. Oh, you're going to get me on an art rant. You don't want to do that.
Yeah.
But anyway, she's like super special to me. She was an artist, the Lady of Shalott was. She wove everything that she saw because she wasn't allowed to see the real world with her eyes. She had to view everything through a mirror. And so she would weave these amazing tapestries out of everything that she saw. She would put all of the images of the things that she saw.
Why did she have to see everything through a mirror?
Because she was cursed.
Oh.
So she was in a tower until one day Lancelot comes riding through and she sees him in her mirror and she decides that she wants to see him with her eyes. Like she wants to actually look at him because he's beautiful. And she does. And she's like, well, I'm cursed now. I'm gonna die. So why not live a little? So she runs down to this boat, writes the Lady of Shalott on the boat. Like she writes her name on it. She gets in the boat, and the first thing that she sees with her eyes, other than Lancelot, is a lily, a water lily, which is where it came from.
Yeah.
And she sings in the boat until she dies.
Well, that's actually kind of a fantastic story.
It's my favorite.
I did not know any of that.
I know. She means a lot to me.
Lady of Shalott. And so you have an Instagram, which is Shalott Lily.
I do.
We'll put links to that on there. You've been doing visual work for some time.
For about 2 years.
Yeah. The jewelry. So let's talk about the jewelry.
Okay.
Would you say fantastical? What's the word I'm looking for? Fantasy. Theatrical. Yeah. I still say fantasy.
I like that word better. Yeah, I say theatrical just because it's been in like theater productions.
Yeah.
Like I do stuff for productions and editorials and stuff. So like that's the word that I typically use to describe it because it sounds more.
What are some of the productions that you've done?
Well, I got to do earrings for Lady Gaga in the American Horror Story Hotel season. Okay. The red ones. Those were mine. Yeah. I got to do that, and I got to make jewelry for an entire character on Austin and Ally by Disney.
The Disney show, yeah.
Thanks to my friend Hannah Cat Jones, who was on America's Next Top Model, and she's probably one of the most sweet and kind human beings I've ever met.
Did you say Hannah Cat Jones?
Mm-hmm, I did.
You know that my cat's name is Cat Jones, right?
I did not know that your cat's name is Cat Jones.
Her name is Cat Jones, yeah.
Oh my god! Yeah. That's adorable.
You're also doing that Cat Jones, who's going to be Cat Tooley soon.
Mm-hmm.
She's Cthulhu Muse on Facebook if you want to look her up. Don't be fucking weird.
And one of the coolest human beings I've ever met. Like, she's seriously phenomenal. And I feel really honored that she wants me to make her wedding jewelry, like her headpiece. Like,
yeah, man.
That's probably one of, like, the most important things anyone's asked me to do in a long time. Considering I've only started doing jewelry again a couple months ago. Really.
The one you did for us for Christmas was amazing. She's got that. We've got this, like, it's not a prosthetic head. It's like you saw that thing.
Yeah.
It's like a CPR doll or some shit like that. And it's really disheveling looking because it's got this metal mouth, and no real expression. And the
Medusa headdress.
The Medusa headdress.
That's overly romantic and ridiculous.
It's very cool.
What I do.
Yeah. And you're doing our wedding piece.
Mm-hmm.
You've done. So we talked a little bit about the Trent Reznor thing. So
Trent Reznor's wife.
His wife. What's her name?
Mary Queen.
Mary Queen?
Mm-hmm.
Reznor.
Yes.
Or just Mary Queen?
Yes.
Okay. On caller ID that would say...
she doesn't like me, though.
Yeah, really?
Yeah, because I'm obnoxious. And she's not wrong. Like, she's not wrong. So, but something that I made, like, lives in Trent Reznor's house. And, like, I kind of giggle about that from time to time.
Yeah.
It's a thing.
Okay. The folks from So was she on Twin Peaks?
She was on Twin Peaks. She and Trent did like a whole song. Have you seen it? Have you seen the last season?
I have not.
Okay, so David Lynch did this thing in like season 2 now, like 20 some odd years ago. Laura Palmer whispers in Dale Cooper's ear, "I'll see you again in 25 years." And when it ended, I always felt like David Lynch had made a promise that he was going to keep someday.
Yeah.
And then he totally did. Like, he's like the only human on the planet, I feel like, whose brain works like mine does.
Shout out to David Lynch for the long game.
He really did play the long game on that one, and he literally went all out on it. It's insane, but it's beautiful. It even has the ghost of David Bowie in it.
Oh.
I know. I cried because he's in the film. He's in Fire Walk with Me and everything.
Yeah.
Whew. But yeah, everything I've ever loved. Dale Cooper ends up in Odessa, Texas at one point.
Yeah.
It was like my entire life was in Twin Peaks. I did editorial for Christabel, who's one of the main characters in the newest season, and she does music with David Lynch, and she's from Texas.
Yeah.
And she is one of the most stunning creatures I've ever met in my life. And she's very surreal and just like whimsical. She's just magic. But I got to do some magazine stuff with her and everything, and yeah, she's fun.
Speaking of that, so, gosh, Texas always has this weird turnaround, so like in the previous episode, which you won't get to see.
Because there's no sound.
Yeah, we talked about you being from Rhode Island.
That is where I was born.
And then you lived in Massachusetts. And New Mexico.
Uh-huh.
And you said, what would we say, like Massachusetts to Midland?
Yes.
And that's...
I moved from Cape Cod to Midland, Texas.
How was Cape Cod? Is it pretty?
It was really pretty. I lived like a block away from the beach. But I wasn't really a beach girl. Yeah. I used to like to play like hide and go seek and stuff in the woods, and I would do monster hunter training there because I was a monster hunter. It's a thing. I even picked up a bunch of vampire books from Angela today because it's a thing.
Nice.
Yeah.
What was I going to say?
Old habits die hard.
You ever catch any of those nor'easters that ever came through some of those like fucked up crazy winters?
Huh?
Like a nor'easter, like one of those like real cold blasts on the East Coast.
Oh yeah, blizzards.
Yeah.
There was a time where literally the entire electricity of the whole town in Middleborough got shut down, and my sister was spending the night at her friend's grandmother's house in like a town over, or a couple towns over, but a police officer had to come and knock on our door and tell us that my sister couldn't come home because of the snow and everything like that, and we had to light candles, and we used the gas oven, which the gas still worked, thank God, to like heat ourselves. So we were like camping out in the kitchen, and my mom read out loud Blue Moon Rising because that's what she did every time. It's a fantasy novel, and like probably one of the coolest.
At the time, it probably sucked a little bit, but that's kind of a cool memory.
Oh, no, it was an adventure, 100%. Yeah. I was all about it. For some reason, like, whenever things were, like, weird and, like, there was no electricity or this or that or, like, this happened, it was never like oh, no. No. It was, like, adventure time. All right, what are we going to do now? And we'd have to get, like, super creative. Mom and I would, like, we were, like, doing funky stuff to candles, and I don't know. It was just fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Huh. So, flash forward, you started doing you started doing art. You said you were inspired by Labyrinth. Was like
I think Labyrinth is probably why I make the jewelry that I make. Yeah, because and it's funny. Nana had never seen it, and we watched it before she passed away, and we're watching it, and I'm like, this was my favorite movie ever. And the ballroom scene comes on, and she looks at me, and she's like, it's no wonder you make the stuff you make. Yeah. And I had never put two and two together. Like, it had never occurred to me, but I am 100% that makes sense. That tracks. It's
Bowie. And then Bowie just kind of followed you around for the rest of your life, you know?
Bowie has made every bad moment good.
Yeah.
He just...
Except for one.
Yeah, that happened.
So, like, my hero is Lemmy. He died within like 2 weeks of Bowie, almost 2 weeks to the day. And Bowie died on January 11th.
Which was my birthday.
And that is a black belt in suck for somebody that is a diehard Bowie fan. At first, it
sucked at first, but now it's like we're forever connected because every time my birthday happens, like his like memorial concert happens, and like there's magazines, and I always buy them.
Yeah,
I obsessively do because it's like a birthday thing now.
The tie-in between music and visual art, hell, MTV kind of made that happen, really in the 80s, they kind of...
Whatever, the Pre-Rapahelites made that happen.
The Pre-Rapahelites. Okay, so let's talk about the Pre-Rapahelites. Because I still struggle with that name.
Most people do.
So let's talk about this. So in addition to the New York Fashion Week, which is awesome thing that you did.
I did do New York Fashion Week.
And the LA shows, and running around with your friend Hannah in LA.
Yeah.
And the shows here. You've got a piece on the fucking moon.
I mean, not physically. It's digitally on the moon.
It's still on the moon.
On the freaking moon, man. It's on the moon. I know. And I didn't even know about it for a year.
And so, the Pre-Rapahelites are what?
Okay.
So, talk to me like we haven't talked about this 3 times.
Okay. So, the Pre-Rapahelites are my favorite artistic movement back in the 1800s. It was this strange time period where literature and music were influencing paintings, which were influencing more literature and more music, and it was all just kind of it was all just kind of this like circle of creativity that is like so inspiring to me. And like I said earlier, it feels like that's happening right now in Amarillo, which makes my being here like magic. But
there's definitely a tie-in. Yeah, you're going to be we're helping me do a poster for a big show that we've got coming up.
And I'm super excited. And I'm painting someone from all of the bands on that, which is really funny for the show on Thursday.
The show on Thursday. So you're going to have 14 portraits up of local musicians.
Yeah. Everything from, like, my friend Austin is a phenomenal jazz musician. I've got some singer-songwriters in there. I've got some true rock and rollers in there. It's magic.
You talked about Amy Hart.
I love Amy. I am doing Amy.
Yeah.
She's the one I've been working on right now, actually. Yeah. And she's been super open and cool about letting me know, like, what she likes and like what she's into to kind of help influence the painting, because like the imagery matters to me. Like I want it to feel like the person. So that matters. So it's a thing. She's probably one of the sweetest, most kind humans on the planet. Again, I think most of the people that I know are, like, I've been really fortunate. Like, I feel like I collect really good people.
You're in a good circle of folks, man. Amy's gold. So anyway, so you're doing Amy Hart, Porterfield, you got a couple of Jay Cali.
I love Jeremiah. Yeah. There's actually a portrait of him at the City Hall that I painted last year because...
Where at?
I haven't seen it hanging up, actually. I just went to the presentation where I had to present it to the city council meeting, which was probably the most awkward, it was the most awkward moment of my entire life. It was terrible. Yeah. And my sister and I still make jokes about no matter how awkward a situation is, it will never be as awkward as I was at that meeting when I had to present it. And it was like a whole thing. Yeah, that happened. Because I'm not awkward at all.
City Hall has Jeremiah up.
Yeah.
And that kid smokes more weed than Bob Marley. That's hilarious. But
he's also one of, like, that kid has so much character.
Oh, yeah.
And he's so talented. And honestly, like, he's such a sweet human. Like, he's just sweet.
Yeah, he's a sweet guy.
Yeah.
Fucking love me some Jay Cali.
I know, me too, man.
So, this is going to be a fantastic show. Man, where do you go from the moon?
Wherever you want.
Wherever you want, I guess.
Like I said, I can make anything else in my life seem really small, but having a piece that is on the moon. Like, there's no way to make that small. Every time I look at it, like,
so
it's
that's
like
it's on a codex.
It's on a codex. It was digitally downloaded. It was for a modern Pre-Rapahelite art show. Yeah. And all of the acceptance.
Waterford and those guys, Rafaelite.
Yeah. Waterhouse.
Waterhouse.
I'm going to correct you on that.
Yeah, you're going to correct me.
I know. It's Waterhouse and Rossetti. Waterford's Crystal.
That's what it was.
Malay, Edward Burns.
Fried after today.
Today's been a day. I mean, I had a flat tire this morning and a whole bunch of other stuff. So, like I said, we're in an episode of Twin Peaks. It's fine. Everything's beautiful and strange, or wonderful and strange. It's everything. It's fine.
Well, strange anyway.
It depends on how you look at it. Like, in the end, everything's okay. This has been the most amazing. Like, I don't think I've ever felt more like myself than I do here. It's really strange, and I guess, like, you know, life is full of those strange things that are very chaotic and unexpected. Right. And I had no idea what I was coming to when I moved here, but like the Pre-Rapahelites, the art and the music and everything just kind of seems to be this amazing, like, circle of creativity, and I get to do all the things. Like, I get to do all the things, and I get to see live music, and I get to go to art shows, and, like, my friends have, like, fantastic art shows. Yeah. Like, Aaron had one a couple weeks ago that was amazing.
Was that at the Greyhound?
No, that was at Mariposa. Aaron and Tommy works at Palace, and that kid is crazy talented. And Aaron, I saw Aaron's work before I ever met him at the Greyhound. Mm-hmm. And I was so intimidated by him, like, because he does these amazing, like, technical, beautiful works. And then I met him, and he's one of the least intimidating humans ever. He's just nice. And he teaches classes up at the Amarillo Art Institute,
Art Institute, so you're doing those classes, or not, are they classes?
It's like a class, like, they have a model, you come in, you pay, like, $10, and you get to draw for 3 hours. Like, it's a figure drawing class. They have other classes up there, too, which I find incredible. Yeah. But sometimes I go up there and I draw, and then sometimes I'm the model, like last night. And they let me wear my crazy headpieces that I make up there, so everybody's drawing pictures of me. It's really weird seeing how other people see you, especially, like, artists. It's been one of the most magical experiences, because, like, I haven't done that since college.
It's visceral, serene, you know, just like,
it's pretty. It was
like how people
pretty.
See you.
Yeah, like,
you know, like the rare opportunity to see yourself through somebody else's eyes.
That's exactly it. Yeah. It's like last night I was just completely this older lady, Gail. She is wonderful and hilarious, and we were cracking up pretty good a couple times. She put on some blues, and because I have to have music when modeling, because you gotta focus on something outside of yourself. Plus, I think I'm just one of those people anyway.
Yeah.
But the portrait that she did of me, there was this one, and I guess the fan, because, you know, it's hot, it's Texas, blew my hair, and so she actually drew it with my hair, like, that moment, you know what I mean? And she's like, it happened, and she was like, that's it. And I was like, wow, like, that's me. I mean, it looked like me, but it also, like, I don't know, it was different. I liked it.
You mentioned before, the first time we did this, that you go to Palace and you can paint.
I paint up at Palace all the time. My daughter, whom you mentioned, last year, I guess, called me the old lady who paints alone in her apartment, because when I first moved here, that's basically who I was. I went to work at the bagel place, and then I'd come home and I'd paint. And so she called me that, and I was like, oh, I'm fine, everything's fine. And then on the drive back after dropping them off, I had to have a, like, sit down conversation with myself and be like, okay, well, that's not good.
Yeah.
So how do we not be the old lady who paints alone in her apartment? So I bring my paint stuff. I have a little travel bag. They all know me up at Palace, and they'll be like, oh, and then they'll, like, start the coffee already, because, like, I run off of caffeine and emotions.
Yeah.
That's a thing.
You guys, and I keep bringing this up because it still just cracks me up. You being a child of the 80s and 90s, and I'm gonna keep talking about
I
it.
know. Aaron gives me shit about it all the time. It's hilarious.
So for a modern artist, she doesn't keep internet in her house on purpose. CDs, DVDs, you know.
Yes, Aaron's coined the term. I have that on DVD because I do have everything on DVD. I have a library.
I think we're gonna have to I think I will go ahead and burn the episode to a DVD.
Okay, that would be so special. And when my friend Aaron watches this, he's gonna laugh his ass off because it's really funny. See, I told you I curse.
Yeah.
Like you were all afraid of cursing around me earlier, and I was like, no.
Yeah, I don't know why. You know,
I'm not that chick, man. I'm not that chick.
But it's just, I don't know. I hold you in high regard, so I don't want to.
Thank you.
I don't want to, offend you or anything like that.
Oh, because I'm like obviously terribly easily offended.
Well,
Grr. Yeah.
Fair enough. Well, so like some of the pieces that you've done. This is like it's like a seventh hell with noises right now.
Dude, it's okay. You know what? Maybe it's a happy accident. It adds character.
Yeah, something.
We're adding dimensions to our character right now. Right now.
We already talked about the Mary Queen thing and Austin and what's the Disney show again?
Austin and Ally.
Austin and Ally. Is that still on?
No, I got to do jewelry for the last season.
And then Game of Thrones.
I did not work on Game of Thrones. I went to Ireland for an interview on Game of Thrones.
That's what it was. Okay. Okay, we talked about that, but I couldn't remember where we were.
You know what? Nobody would know any of this stuff. Like, you would have no idea if my sister hadn't told you everything.
Probably not, no.
I still don't tell many people about it.
I remember that conversation. She said something to the nature of, I'm not supposed to tell you this, but, she's done all this stuff, and she said about you, and I quote, she doesn't really talk to people about this.
Because I don't.
Yeah.
I've gotten a little bit better. Like, there's a couple people I've told things to, but, like, it's just weird.
The thousands of people that watch this show are going to definitely know that now.
Yeah. Well, it's fine because, like, I do all this stuff now anyway, so, like, it's fine. Like, I even started making jewelry again, and I didn't think I quit for like 6 years. I didn't think I'd ever do that again. But
why did you quit?
Oh, there were a lot of reasons. The reason I didn't take the job on Game of Thrones was because Nana got sick, and I had to take care of her while she was on hospice, and then Papa got sick, and I had to take care of him while he was on hospice, and like, it was too much, and then it was sad, and also I always kind of felt like part of the reason I got to do all of the crazy, insane things that I used to do was because I'm good with people. And because I'm good with people, that's why I was afraid that maybe I was never really actually that good at it. Although someone kind of mentioned, why does it matter as long as you get to do the things?
Right.
And so now that's how I think about it, because that's not wrong. It's right.
I think your artwork is breathtaking and amazing. And I've got to work Thursday night, but I am going to catch the show before then.
Okay, cool. I'm going to hang it probably Thursday morning, noonish. Okay. Depends on how well framing goes, which depends on, like, how little sleep I get the next 2 nights because I gotta finish all the paintings.
You got your work cut out for you.
I do, but I've done over half. Like I said, I'm working on Amy's right now. Yeah. Jimmy's done. Eldon's done.
So art is what you're doing this basically for a living now. I mean, you've got a little bit of a part-time job, but you're a professional artist.
So I am now actually managing to make it work. I sold a piece at the big Amarillo Art Institute show a couple weekends ago. I sold a piece at the Greyhound.
Yeah.
Greyhound shows are pretty fun.
That's awesome.
Yeah. I sold a piece at the 806. I sold myself portrait, actually, Saturday after our interview.
Is that the one I made the flyer out of?
Yes, it is. Okay, well, it totally is.
That was really pretty. I thought,
thank you.
Cool, yeah.
It was this... Oh, I don't mind. I don't mind.
Oh, Studio Kit. He's demanding a tribute.
I will give it. I will give it gladly.
I tell you what, before I run into any more technical issues, guys, I'm gonna wrap this up. Again, Thursday, the 25th.
The 25th at 8 o'clock at High Fidelity Vinyl.
At the High Fidelity Vinyl. It's after 6. What time does it start?
8 o'clock.
Starts at 8 o'clock.
Yes,
okay,
sir.
Okay. Cool. Well, Adrian, thank you for doing this so many times with me. I'm going to get this straightened out. And
this has probably been my favorite interview ever. Each time.
The whole time. I might take the audio from the first one and stick it on the video from the second one, and nothing's going to lock up right, and it's going to be so confusing.
It would be like a David Lynch film.
It would, yeah. I might just do that.
That sounds oddly appropriate, actually. I like it.
And Studio Cat here is demanding tribute, so I'm going to get him taken care of. All right, guys. Remember we said Amarillo rocks, white front to back, clear your browser history. Go see some live music and artwork. Peace.
All the thanks.